вот сейчас. Вот.
Так, пошло эхо, значит, короче, есть эффект.
Сейчас я выключу просто монитор. Так. То есть выключу... Что я хотел выключить?
Это переехал между микрофонами.
То есть мне надо от монитора отключить звук. Все, понял. Сейчас одну секунду.
Ты звук стрима должен выключить.
Вот так. Вот так, слышишь? Музыку.
Да, музыку слышу, а ну скажи что-нибудь.
Все, я ее не слышу. Вот, я говорю сейчас. Вот слышно меня сейчас?
Но я тебя в слайде слышу, на стриме не слышу.
На стриме, потому что я же тебя не подключил, получается, еще... Так, сейчас. На стриме.
Ты звук стрима должен выключить.
Вот так, слышишь? Музыку. Да.
О, я появился на стриме. Слышу, а ну скажи что-нибудь.
Все, я ее не слышу. Так, я говорю
вот.
сейчас.
То есть,
Там слышно что-нибудь меня сейчас?
Ты очень громко, я тебя в слайде слышу, на стриме
Очень
не
громко.
слышу.
На стриме, потому что я же тебя не подключил, получается,
Вот
еще... Так, сейчас. На стриме.
Да, музыка на стриме очень громкая. Сейчас, погоди. О, я появился на стриме.
то есть,
Там слышно что-нибудь на стриме?
Ты можешь еще тише музыку сделать. Ты учитываешь, что музыку, как слышишь ее ты у себя в наушниках, зависит от уровня громкости ушей, а на стриме зависит от громкости системных звуков и от громкости плеера. И плюс, дилей на стриме в любом случае, он никуда не девается.
Ну вот я, допустим, выключил вообще музыку. Вот. Можешь сказать что-нибудь?
Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, восемь, девять, десять. Бронебойный бутерброд, проверка студийной аппаратуры.
Все. Вот, получается, все как бы есть.
Так. Подожди, дай я...
Вот, эхо пошло, то есть... Ну вот смотри, вот видишь, я сейчас говорю, да, вот на экране, на стриме, вот эта вот фигня зеленая, она скачет. То есть, получается,
Да.
системный звук ловится. Вот сейчас ты скажи что-нибудь.
Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, восемь, девять, 10. У меня задержка стрима в 1 минуту где-то примерно.
О, так, я понял. А как это исправить?
Никак. Это минимальная задержка, которую можно поставить на стриме. Поэтому, когда ты мне говоришь, вот ты видишь, у меня там что-то сейчас происходит, я это вижу спустя какое-то время. Вот,
я понял.
вот сейчас я вижу, я дошел только сейчас до момента, когда ты это говоришь, подожди.
Вот сейчас ты скажи что-нибудь.
Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, восемь, девять, 10.
Так.
Да, все, отлично. Тебя слышно на стриме, меня слышно на стриме.
Все реально слышно все, да?
Да, все как бы слышно. Можно дать
Сюда
чуть-чуть...
поставить.
Да, дать чуть-чуть музыку, может быть, системные звуки сделать погромче, чтобы нас было громче слышно.
Ну вот, допустим, так.
Раз, два, три,
Слышно,
четыре,
может?
пять, шесть, семь. Сейчас узнаю, сейчас до меня дойдет, докатится потихоньку.
Все реально слышно все, да?
Так.
Сюда поставить.
Оху. Сейчас, вот мы только до системных звуков дошли. Сейчас ты что-то сделаешь с музыкой.
Так, вот, да?
Есть там вообще Я музыку на стриме не слышу сейчас. Ты музыку на стриме, ты должен ее тоже графиком видеть, системную музыку. Ай! Словил какой-то жесткий эхо. А ты где-то включаешь? Глеб. Глеб. Ох, у тебя микрофон. О, теперь есть музыка. Я включил стрим, музыка есть. Ай. Да.
Алло.
Да.
А вот. Алло, слышно?
Да, слышно тебя, музыка есть, на стриме ты, наверное, тоже есть. Окей, давай запускаться так, как есть.
Да?
Включаю пробу какую-нибудь, какой план.
Сейчас я, допустим, вот это я подготовил. Так, и мне надо, наверное, сейчас я выведу эту штуку. А что здесь вот поставить? Вот эта вот штука, это...
Какая вот эта?
Ну, как? Вот правый нижний угол, вторая иконка.
Правый нижний, там, наверное, должен быть я, но ты можешь ее просто отключить. Давай просто ее отключишь, будет камера, наверное.
Да. Хорошо. Тогда как ее отключить?
Это display capture.
Это display capture. Ага, все, отключил.
Ты просто не уводи ее никуда в сторону, ты просто на глазик нажми в этом.
Да, я так и сделал.
Что? That probably will help to hear.
Like this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you use headphones or do you use like phone?
Yes.
Do you use headphones?
I'm using headphones.
Yeah, right. And now make this sound of music twice lower on YouTube or something, like twice.
Okay, like this. Okay. So on one moment, and then like this. Like this. Yes. I do not hear music at all. Like this. I'm using
Wait a
headphones.
second.
Yeah.
Right. And now make this sound of music twice lower. Okay. Now it's much better, for my opinion. Like twice. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Like this?
Now it's cool.
Okay.
Now it's cool.
On one
I
moment,
guess. Guys,
and
please
then
give us feedback if something wrong with sound.
like this.
That's
I do
a
not
problem
hear music
each
at all.
time. I'm sorry for that. We can start, I believe, right?
Yeah. We could start. Sure.
So, what topic we covered today? Now it's much better.
Okay. Hello, guys. Today we'll be talking about well-known software Blender. So it's very cool new application, and which is
I'm sorry for that.
developing every day, and a lot is done. And so we will talk about Blender today, tips and tricks, and user interface, and some today some other stuff like plugins and how to connect this app with 3ds Max, for example, and about this, and which is developing every day, and a lot is done. And so we will okay.
So what we will do in Blender? We'll
okay. So I will start. We have some delay, delay on screen and audio. So we are starting from the main page of Blender. So this is the main page, and here we could download it from the download section, and this is very cool that we could install the application, and also we could use the portable version. So I'm using portable, so it does not need to be installed, just download it and launch it. And it could be saved to USB drive and take to another computer everywhere. So here is the download, and I'm downloading here Blender Experimental, and here we have the latest builds. So this software is updating every day, and every day they add in some feature, fixing bugs, and so on. I do not update such often, but I'm checking this from time to time. Also, we have a very cool plugin. It's a Blender Launcher. So it's a small application, and here we could see the recent versions. So, for example, today the latest is 3.2 alpha. And from here, we could see all updates. And also, we could launch from these buttons. So, and we have a stable, daily, and experimental branches with all different things. Okay, so let's start. This is the
Yeah, Gleb, will ask you. That's maybe only my problem, but the resolution of stream is not such high to you, so you can read small text. So if you have a button with text or something like that, and it's important the name of this button, read it, please. Right? So that
Okay.
just a simple ask. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yeah, sorry for
so
interrupting.
I'm starting here. We have a library, and I have here a daily build, and I'm launching the fresh version of Blender from just download it. It starts in like few seconds, and it's very cool. We have a splash screen like this with all necessary information. So we could start. This is main view of the software. We have like how to manipulate. It's a bit different from 3ds Max. But it could be set up the same as 3ds Max. So it's
Manually, or they have a pattern for this?
manually. I have prepared the setup I'm using in the stream. So with these keys, and I will show now how to import these keys. So it will be faster to get used to the Blender because of the manipulation is will be the same as in 3ds Max.
Good.
Yeah, and also this is the default default like load factory settings. This is a default Blender user interface, and this is my user interface I prefer. So I will also include the file setup, so maybe we'll use it. And now I will show how to install it. So here we have a file, edit, and below is a preferences. It's the main preferences of the of Blender. Here we have a key map. To install a key map, we need to push this import button. Then
this import button, I missed that. Can you show it again for me?
Yeah, sure. This one here. Yeah, and this window will open, and here it's different from 3ds Max. So in 3ds Max we could write a path here and will lead to the folder, but in Blender we should write here the path like this. It will open the folder, and here below will be the file name, so key map. And just click import configuration. So it's done. Now you have the manipulations the same as in 3ds Max. Okay, and theme. It's about colors. So here we have a theme, and below there is a 3D viewport, and here we have a lot of settings. These settings is about UI in 3D viewport. So face selection, face color, vertex color, and so on. I'm also install my own. So I just modify it a bit. So we have red buttons. They're everywhere. This red, and everything else is grayish, without colors. So without bluish tint and so on. Here we should okay. So here we should push install button, install, and click here, new theme, and just install. Also, and here we see the new themes, so it's the settings of new theme. But here in Blender, we have a lot of themes which is pre-installed. For example, like in Maya, so we have this UI, for example, model. It's also very cool. Exercise, so this UI, and a lot of.
Right. So previously I was watched once about some Blender tutorial, and a lot of things for me was unclearly. Let's pretend that I don't know anything about Blender, what this software, for what it used, what powerful source it has. And go from the beginning. Blender is a program for what?
So Blender is all-in-one program. So we could, in this software, we could model, texture, UV unwrap. We could paint like on 3D. We could make animations. We could make rig. We could make compositing. We could make special effects like VFX. Yeah, so it's
basically it's Rhizome UV, it's 3ds Max, and Substance Painter all in one.
Substance Painter after our Final Cut, and
okay. So it's multitask source. Yeah.
So we could make a film from start to finish in one software.
Cool. Sounds like a Houdini program. Right. And next question. We have some difficult import of the model or starting of a project instead of any other program, as I can see, right? And can you explain, especially for Dump Me, what's all of this colored lines mean? Because again, the problem. Очень громко музыка и тихо вы. Сделай музыку еще тише, пожалуйста.
Вот так вот?
I don't know. Let me check once again. Это странно, потому что я вообще не слышу музыку на стриме теперь.
Ну, я супер убрал.
Нет, ну я на моменте еще, когда я тебе только говорю, я не слышал.
Ну, вот так вот.
Окей, уже все норм. Окей, уже все good. Хорошо, let's
continue.
There's weird echo in the background. That's probably a micro issue. It's interesting why we hear this echo. Музыка у меня на том же уровне. Okay, I don't know. Anastasia Tumanova, if you still hear music on the same level, maybe you watched him from the start? Fix it after refresh. Yeah. Let's continue. I'm sorry. That's a bit stressful for now. No, you're doing good. Man. You're doing good. That's your first time as a streamer. That's fine. You must
Hard
deal
task.
with all this technical issue. Yeah, Anastasia Tomanova, thanks for feedback. Okay, so back to Blender. Uh, you probably have a monitor with a huge resolution, and YouTube don't give us now a huge resolution for a stream, so we can't read actually anything on your screen because it's too small and resolution too low. So then you click on some buttons, we can miss that easily.
Okay.
Remember about that. Yeah, it's work farm for me. Yeah, thank you, Ashley.
Okay.
Yeah,
We-
let's continue. This color strips that you shown. That's some extra button, extra function that you can add to your
Okay.
project than your
For
creation.
example, we have a user interface resolution scale, so we could put it like 3, and everything will be big, like this big.
No,
Okay.
leave it like it is.
So we could see everything now, something like this. Maybe it will be better.
No, because the resolution too low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah. So here is bigger UI. So we'll continue about the user interface. So Blender is very cool. So we could move everything and divide the screen, like right click. And for example, we have a horizontal split like this. We could put here different menus like UV, for example, and we could split one more time horizontally or vertically, so like this. And here we could have another 3D view, and these views are separated. For example, if we have a lot of objects like this, so we could isolate one object on this viewport, and we have a full composition or a camera view on another viewport. And for example, a red is selected object. Red is selected object, so this one is selected, but for example, on this camera, it's not visible, almost not visible. But we could work on this object separately, like modify it and modify it, add geometry, or even unwrap and see on the main window how it will look like. So it's very cool. And we here could add like shader editor. If we, for example, have a material, we see here material editor like in 3ds Max, and could work on shading here. Or for example, we could put image here, and and here we have a reference, for example, for our modeling stuff. So everything on one in one view. Or we could have a timeline here and make an animation. So we could set up it like we want.
About UV in your right down screen, instead of 3ds Max, UV working fine in I mean layout UV. It's working fine in Blender, or it's garbage as in 3ds Max.
Oh, it's the best UV editor. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I use it only this one. It's the best. I will cover it a bit later, but it have so many features and packing is great. And overall, it could be, for example, here we have. Okay, I will cover this UV stuff a bit later.
yeah.
So, I will show the user interface. So, for example, I have set up here an outliner.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the best outliner I saw. So, for example, here we have models, which we everything. So here we have everything we see in the viewport, and here we have different settings. For example, we could see only. For example, here we could hide meshes and see only lights and rigged forms and so different stuff. Or we could hide something else. And
So,
here we could this icon means that it's not selected. And also, it's very cool that, for example, we could push a button, hold down, and move down, and it will like apply to all other models. So like this. So we do not need to move it every time and click. We could hold and move, and it's great like this.
it's something like a upgraded layer list from Photoshop, right?
Yeah, it's like in Photoshop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In 3ds Max, we should click every time, and here we could like move it. So it's not selectable, and it's hide show. Here we have a collections. It's like layers.
Mm-hmm.
We could first name them, and also we could add a color coding. For example, like this, and then select objects we need, and then just move them to this
Mm-hmm.
layer. Yeah? And the great stuff here, for example, we could link, for example, cube number 5, we could link to main. So we could move it to main. It will move from one collection to another, but we could also add it to different collections. So we have the same cube.
Collections mean groups, right?
It's layers, more like layers in 3ds Max. Here we
Yeah,
have a group.
yeah. Good.
So when we select it, uh, like we select two objects one time, and uh, here is more like layers. Okay, so you see, we could have one object in two different collections. It's very cool stuff. So it's useful in many cases. So for example, we don't need to remember on render which object need to be hide. We could like make the layer hide, and then add like link the same objects from main layer to this hide layer, and then just hide it. It's very cool. Uh,
Yeah, it's
this is
then you start only start to discover some software. You think that okay, all this navigation stuff is not important because it's I don't care. Do I have a button, fast button to froze model? Do I have a fast way to group and stack the bunch of different assets? Why? It's only matter what I can do with model or with texture. No, all this stuff is make your progress much faster. You yeah, like how to explain it? You economize so much time with that. Yeah.
It's like essential, like when you like work in the software and you like to be there, like
Mm-hmm.
you like how it looks, you like how it's manipulated, you understand the logic of this software, so it's very cool. For example, if you do not like the background, you could change it very fast like this. So and then model on a white background. And if you are in the evening or want to see it's more dark color, so you could make it very fast.
Mm-hmm.
You could make the objects like all in one color. For example, if um, uh, during the modeling you need to look on in one color, and then you could see it in materials. And you could see it like an object and change, for example, for some parts, you could change the color and everything else will be the same color. So it could be random, um, like random colored. It could be flat to see the silhouette uh, of the model, just to see the, for example, for camera view, we could have like object, sorry, single, and change it to black, white, or like this, and see the silhouette if it's look okay or not. And then we have a studio setup, so it different shading modes, and it could be we could install. We could install different shading modes. So it's all very important because it's like uh, overall happiness of work when you work and look at the beautiful software. And we could install matte caps. Here we have different matte caps. So like this. Um,
Viewport work is actually very smooth as for me. And
yeah.
it's given a nice FPS of moving model, pressing the button, and so on, so on. Everything is work really smooth.
So I just here we have a like insane fast loading time. So I
Mm-hmm.
have just loaded. It took me like you see now. It took me 1 second to load this car. It's like almost 2 million polygons, and it's very fast. So for example, here we could change the look of the model in different shading conditions. It's helpful for looking on the silhouette, um, for checking if everything is okay and there is no issues and so on. So it's very cool.
Uh, a question about software. Do do Blender have good feedback from developer, and does it has a good help?
Feedback, do you mean like community?
Live forum, something like that.
Do not understand, sorry.
Okay, you have some issue, you can find some button on some or something. Do you can use official resources to solve this problem, like forum from
Yeah,
developers
sure.
or contact with developers? Do they answer? Do they talk to the community?
Yeah, sure. It's a great community, and there are a lot of forums and YouTube channels and a lot of information to find anything you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have in Blender like very cool feature. It's like F3 search. For example, we need to make a bevel. For example, we
Mm-hmm.
making cube. Yeah, we need to have a bevel here. So we select search and type bevel, and we have a a lot of how it's called, options to choose. So we have, for example, this bevel, or for example, we need to mirror. We have different options like mirror X, Z, Y, and so on. And the best is that we could right click and assign it to shortcut. And it's very cool. So it could be applied to any command. For example, we could pick weld and assign it to shortcut. So I mean, we could pick a modifier. Here we have a modifiers. So here we have a bevel, and we could choose any modifier and assign it to shortcut. We could like actually assign a lot to shortcuts and find it very fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool about this software.
Only a few days ago, I discovered that there is not only an additional tool for artists who works in Photoshop, I mean tablet, but there is a really cool-looking manipulators like joysticks, gamepads. No, not gamepads, but stuff for 2DS artists who is specialized on modeling. And I believe all that stuff was created special for Blender because it's much.
Yeah.
I will drop a link in chat now with these manipulators, so you can saw them. If you don't know that they exist as I do.
Yeah, the beauty about the Blender, so here we could use the standard manipulators like in every software, like this we have, or transforms. So we have in one manipulator all this cool stuff. So scaling, rotating, and also moving. It's very cool, but we could use like standard G. 1 second, I will. Okay, we could press G and move, and it's a very fast way to work. So we press G and move instantly. We could press R and rotate. We could press R 2 times, and we could rotate in different manner. We could press S and scale. It's very cool. And for example, if we press J, we move, and then push middle mouse button. So we could choose axis on which we will move. So it's constrained. So we press J, middle mouse button, and we are moving just Z axis, or we need to move Y axis. And here, like here, look here, we see the details. And during the move, we could type, for example, numbers, so 100, and this cube will move 100 units. So we could type different numbers. So it's very cool.
Cool combination of hotkeys. Is it default or is it your?
It's default. It's all default.
Okay.
Yeah, just G, middle mouse, and you move constraint to different axes, and you could choose it. The same with scale. The same with scale. I hope you see this like tiny lines on which I am choosing the axis, and it's very cool. And the same as rotation. So we just pick this and could rotate by this axis by 90 degrees. And if we need another side, so we type after that minus, and it will rotate minus 90 degrees. It's very cool. Here we have a transforms. So it's very important thing. And also we have here all the information about our model. So for example, if we need to, we just move the model, and here we have a transforms. And if we need this model to be placed like all axes could be the same. So we just hold and select down, and all three axes is activated, and we could press, for example, 0, and we have now all this axis 0. Or the same with the rotation. We type it, and the scale, for example, we just type 1, and it will be 111 scale. And beside this, it's very, very cool. So 1 second.
Guys, I'm looking in chat, so if you have any question, you can ask, and I will answer you immediately in chat. And with some delay, sorry for that, we will answer you on a stream. Also, Renault and Dmitry, hi guys.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, I saw your hello in chat. I have some question. I forgot about that. About Blender.
Metrics here. It's very cool. So I just a few words here. We have a metric. We could choose, for example, metric.
What we have met? We have a met. That's cool, but we have a met. But that's not for a stream. We'll do it later. What we have in the Blender?
We could choose meters, kilometers, centimeters, and millimeters instantly. So we could work, for example, in millimeters, like here, and then choose centimeters when we go bigger scale, and so on. And it does not impact on exporting, importing. It's very, very cool. And also, beside that, we have a scale. We have also dimensions, real dimensions of the model. So for example, we need to change the dimensions of the model like this, and it also changed the scale, but the real size of the model also. And it's like, it's very cool.
It's very useful when you need to, so your model was real size asset, right?
So for example, we have for example, I don't know, we have these tires, and we could see that these tires have these real dimensions. And like this, and we could change it, for example, like this. And yeah, okay. Here we could show, hide different attributes, objects visibility. So we could hide empties or turn the selection mode of empties. For example, here we have a light, and we could like turn everything but meshes, and we have only meshes here, and we could check the model if everything works fine without the interruption, and then we will turn it on, and we have everything in the scene.
Do you have a bird?
Bird? It's a dog.
It's dog, right?
Yeah, it's it was sleeping and just came. I want to some laugh. Okay, so this stuff is viewport configuration. Is also we have a like fast selection of overlays, so we could fast turn off and on overlays. And this in Blender we have this like pie menus. There are a lot of these menus like this, and it's very helpful.
What menus? Oh. Never mind.
I just showing different.
Yeah.
So it's like a muscle memory. You could, for example, type Z and left, and or right. So on one hotkey you have like a lot of different shortcuts, and in this way we could work like this. So only modeling, for example, like so.
Mac asking, what is your dog name?
Dog name Charlie. Charlie. Yeah. Charlie. It's his beagle. 8 years old.
Oh, he's old.
8 years. not so old. Okay, so there is a cool option like full screen. Awesome. I could speak about modifiers. So we could work in Blender with modifiers, and I will just cover main of them. So it's like subdivision, it's like turbo smooth.
Oh, so there was a question that I want to ask about this. I personally discovered for myself that subdivision is working much better than turbo smooth in 3ds Max, and you can have a really weird result with using turbo smooth and subdivision and I mean some smoothing modifiers. Then you have some extra loops on your model, and so the reflection will be not really well. You have different artifacts on your surface. So how smooth modifiers work in Blender? Because obviously they have opposite algorithm of working.
It worked perfect.
Yep.
So it's very cool. For example, we have in Blender we could like shade. We have a shading of the model. So you see here we have a bad shading now.
Mm-hmm.
We could turn it like flat, so everything is flat. And if we model for sub D, we should turn it smooth. So everything is smooth, and when we apply sub D, so everything is well smooth, like this. Yeah. Another way, if we are working with non-sub D models, so we could make a bevel. So I just rotating the mouse wheel, and adding this resolution. It's very pleasant to work. So for example, we will make like this, and we have a shading issues here, and we could just shade it smooth and add after smooth, and then we could make edge sharp. So we could like select the edge and make it sharp. It will appear with this blue line, and it's perfect for VR, AR models and for baking. So we see that which edge is sharp and which is soft edge, and then, for example, we could like make a combination of shortcuts. So I'm pressing Alt Q, and now I have unwrapped this model. So basically what is making is
it's like some kind of auto unwrap.
Yeah, you could call it. So basically, if we will make it manually,
Mm-hmm.
if we make it 1 second. Sorry. If we make it manually, we have selected like set it up sharp edges. Then we press Shift G and we select similar by sharpness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have selected all sharp edges. Then we right click and we have this menu and we could mark seam.
Yeah, Gleb, I'm sorry for some silly questions. First of all, I do not work in Blender. And the second stuff is I'm hear you in a real time, but watch your stream with delay as overs. So sometimes I'm a bit lost. Yeah. Sorry everyone for that.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, and then we mark seam. Yeah, like this. And then we select everything and type U and unwrap. And we have great unwrap here. And also we see in colors which part is this color means that it's UV UV seam.
Mm,
And we in viewport see all these seams, yeah, like this.
I think screen was stuck for a couple of seconds now. It's weird. All good, I'm following. Max supporting me as usual. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, and here we have, for example, packing options. And for example, we could pack it like very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so um, it's basically very cool. And here, for example, if we do not need this H to be a seam, we could clear the seam and then A, UU, and then we have uh, which one was this one. It's connected now and clear seam and clear seam. And here we have like this. So it's now connected. And in the viewport, we have the same shortcuts. So, for example, we could R, it will be rotate. We could rotate by 90 degrees or minus 90. We could G move. We could S scale. And we could, for example, we could select the this H, and in 3D viewport we could click and mark seam, and then U and unwrap, and it will unwrap with this new seams. So this part is a shell. This part is shell.
Do this UV unwrap stuff that is inside of Blender have a similar function as UV layout? I'm specific about selecting the similar island, selector the similar shapes. If, for example, you have some copy of your model, but you want to this copies was not instance, so you have a different kind of textures on every I don't know chair foot.
So
I got a pardon?
So it's more specific stuff. So here we have like the idea, the logic of Blender unwrapping is we have a 3D view and we have a 2D view, and
Yes.
we could like work. How to explain it? So if we, for example, here select the polygons, it will show us here, and we could hide them, and it's like in 3D layout, and then check the model, like like I don't know, it feels like the best UV unwrapping thing, because it easily, for example, I could very easily select the edge, mark it seam or clear seam, and it will show in the UI. And when I select in UV space, I see what I am selecting in 3D space. So like this. And if I satisfied with this unwrap, for example, I just hide it. Oh, sorry. I'm satisfied, I just hide it, and then check the model further. So if it's okay, then I hide it. It's very cool.
My question was, do you have any tools to to work with multi-object?
Yeah, sure. For example,
so you don't have only one cube; you have many cubes, and you wanna select same edges on different cubes and different UDIM in different UDIMs.
So, for example, we have, for example, these two cubes are instanced. Yeah, it's instance, and we have these two cubes. So I will mark like this cube will be one second. Okay, yellow cube is unique, and blue is instance. Blue is instance. If I modify UV on instance, it will modify it also. Yeah. If I modify here, it will.
If it's instance, right? But if it's not instance, if it's copies.
Yeah. But if for example these two instance and this one copy, we could select them all. Yeah. And then we could select all the UVs and stack them together. So it's made with, for example, UV Pack Master. I do not have this last version, and you could stack islands and I guess is what you asked.
Yeah, let me see on the stream. Well, it's close. It's obviously close. So, okay, let's move on. So Blender has a pretty useful interface and really nice visual settings. I mean, a background and all menus and everything else. I love how this looks. And as for me, it's important. I was so glad then Photoshop go in gray mode. Then they realized it many versions before, because white Photoshop was like awful, and the design of menu in Blender, viewport of Blender, and the ergonomic in general looks really nice. Do you want to show us something more about menu and functionality, or we can go to plugins? You promised me show some cool plugins for Blender.
Yeah. Okay, I will show some more stuff. It's about the crease. It's about the creasing. So in sub-D modeling, we could make supporting loops like this to how it's called, to sharpen the edges. Or we could make a creasing. So, for example, we could select edge, and here we have a creasing. Okay, this one. And
yes,
we could
I
make a
agree. The
creasing
interface of Blender is really nice, said Acelink. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting. Just reading chat.
Yeah. So we could make a creasing very fast here, and it's also could be placed on shortcut. And Shift E like this, and we could make these crisp edges and make the model look like we want. So here we have also a very cool thing that, for example, we need to, if we control select one vertex and then control and select another, it will select the row of vertices. So for example, we need to rotate this vertex, for example, but the point should be this this vertex. So we have a snapping options, and we could activate active, and when we rotate, you see, when we rotate, it will rotate from this point. So like this. This is very useful.
And person in chat who never work in 2D programs, like, why is so many thoughts about rotation in the model? Is it even important? Yes. Yes.
Because, for example, we have like, okay, we have, it's important because of the flow. So, for example, we have this model, and we should have a specific edge flow, so the model is smooth. And for example, this edge should be also smooth. And it's, for example, we need to make it straight like this. We could make it straight here in 1 second, and it will be like a straight line. Or we need, for example, to move like these 3 points, so it will be on the same level. So we could make it like this, and it will be the same level.
It's cool. Dmitry was typed in chat. Blender is my love. Although I work it a lot in Maya and little in 3ds Max. Yeah, Dmitry, if you have something to add about what Gleb was saying about Blender, or you wanna ask something about Blender, or you want Gleb to describe some topic, feel free to type this in chat. Yeah, again, sorry for interrupting you.
Like Blender is awesome for modeling, for model manipulations. I will show you now, for example, empty and okay. I will show you, for example, how it's rendered. So we have this preview. It's insanely fast and quite realistic. We have different settings like this. It's a plane. So we have a model. So we have this stuff. And we could pick it, set it to render. And we have like and it's done. So I have a 4K monitor, and it's now it's rendered without denoising. Select with denoising.
I don't know. Is it power of your PC or is it optimization of program? Because
It's
what?
so
Really?
you see, yeah, it's very fast. It's very
What render
fast.
do you use now?
It cycles.
So it's for me
In
not
render.
please. It's a GPU or CPU?
GPU. Actually, it's
Okay,
all
okay,
of
okay.
system. It's actually I use only one 280T card, so could turn everything on and it will be like a lot faster. But for performance, it's more than enough. You see, like, and it's almost yeah.
PC must not thinking faster when you. How can even faster than that it can be?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
really fast.
Yeah.
And here render have all these cool stuff features. So for example, I don't know, I like these views. So when we on shaded model, we could turn the frame, wireframe, and like this. So it's very very cool. Okay. And about the materials, we could, for example, select a model and write in viewport. We could add material and start shading.
So again, for me, now we looking in work viewport. It's not some kind of render special interface, right?
Yeah, it's just viewport. So when we press render, it will be rendered. But now it's like a viewport. So and we have a different option. For example, we could see ambient occlusion only in viewport. We could see emission, background, shadow, so different, all these different stuff. For example, glossiness. It's like render elements, but we could see it on 3D in viewport. And here we have a material override if we turn it on or turn it off. So now we see all the reflections, and it's actually the render pass, but we see it in 3D in real time. For example, we now switch to combined, and if we need to change material, so it's very fast. Also, we could
in the start of the stream, you told about background settings in a viewport. Can you show add like HDRI view so you can do some fast draft from your viewport?
Yeah, it's possible. I will, for example, we could switch to scene and then add here. Add here HDRI. I will show you better in different like in different manner. So here we have a, for example, preview and add like this HDRI, and we could check the model in different lighting scenarios. So we could rotate it.
Oh, this menu is so similar to Substance Painter menu.
Yeah, and this I'm rendering now like 4K, so this model is all 4K because of the big monitor, but it's like pretty responsible. Yeah, we could make it less strange, more strange. We could see the world, uh, render it on a transparent background, or uh, or oops, make it like HDRI. Okay, so it's mostly for previews, and it's very great. And for example, here we could have, so here could be the camera, uh, view, and here we have the modeling overrides, modeling checking the model. I don't know, so we could check, and actually we could start to model here, and we could make some modifications here, and it will be visible in main camera viewport.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very.
So, pardon me. Gleb, we are starting to run out of time because we have some timing of our stream, and we still not discover plugins. And I personally want to see what cool stuff with plugins you can do. I knew that we don't discover a lot of different and cool features about Blender itself, but I suggest maybe if topic of Blender is interesting, in a couple of weeks we will do another stream with Gleb, and the information will be systemized a bit better. Yeah, and now we move on to plugins. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Okay, about the plugins, the main plugin I use is okay. So in Blender preferences.
No rush. I knew that plugins is a huge topic too, so I'm suggesting you to move on to plugins now, so you have enough time to discover this topic too. So no rush.
Okay, so here in so here edit preferences, we have add-on button, and we could install plugins. It's very simple. Just click install, and when you download the plugin, it will be something like a zip file. Yeah, like the zip, and you just click install, and it will be installed. No need to like press OK and something.
I just saw how you fight with me. You can't move me.
What do you mean?
You like move Slack call like 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in the corner. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and here we have a different install plugins, so we could enable the only installed plugins. So, or we could install see all plugins in Blender. So there are a lot of default plugins that should be activated. So it's like here, and now it's activated. And the main plugins I would like to talk about is Mesh Machine. Mostly it's what so most of all I use this machine tool. This have a lot of cool menus and very useful stuff for modeling. For example, we have different menus. The main is this one. So it consists of three spaces. So it significantly improves the workflow. So I just press one button, and here we have all useful stuff. Like for fast naming, we could type name here. We could show this name. It will be always shown on the model. So we have test number 1, and so on. We could shade model. We could shade model smooth or flat. So for example, it's smooth shading or flat shading, or we could turn on after smooth. And this is the how it's called, angle of after smooth. So predefined angle. It's very fast. Also, we could show hide cursor in this cursor, and we could hide it very fast here. We could show origins. It's like small dots here. We could show backface culling. For example, click. So now we have a backface culling. Yeah, we could disable it so we could see it. We could fast face orientation is very cool feature. So red is flip faces and blue is with normal. Also in outliner, also here we could turn on normals. So we could see a vertex normal, not so useful, but for example, we could see it like normals of the mesh. It's important for example, if we need to extrude, so it's extruding along normal.
Or maybe if you're modeling stuff in one object inside the other. Inside the other.
It's also. For example, what we have face, we could turn on grid. Yeah, like this is a grid, and this is 3D view grid. We could turn wireframe. For example, this one, we could make different opacity to wireframe, preserving the other. So we could make wireframe and turn it off or on. We could make an outline for the here. So we could see where objects are. So we see that these objects are like connecting, not connected to each other, but how it's called. So it's like inside one model inside another model. And we could turn it off and on. We could add, for example, we could add cavity and curvature. So it's slightly enrich so you see this outline, this cavity, and yeah, it's give some like ambient occlusion and curvature will brighten up the sharper edges. So the model became richer, so visually richer. Also here we could choose the different matte caps like this, switching in these matte caps very fast. Changing color of objects. It's for checking. Here we have a material view, also single view. It's all shaded in one material. And we have an object view, so we could mark, for example, some parts like here. We could mark them.
A lot of different stuff.
Yeah. So we could place it random, so we see every part is in different color, and visually see different parts. We could see a vertex color. We could see a texture. If we have some textures, we could see. And we have an option to see all flat. For example, if we don't see curvature, so we have a flat and single, and we could see a silhouette, for example, or we could see this stuff we marked, with green, or we could see the random and check if the silhouette is okay, for example.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, and also we could change to wireframe mode. Yeah, we could change wireframe mode from random to object to single. We could hide origins. Okay. We could.
It's not about how good it's look. It's about how useful it is.
Yeah, but it looks also cool.
Yeah.
So we could turn it like on the wireframe or with X-ray. So like this, and okay.
Actually,
then,
the wireframe mode of Viewport I love much more than in 3ds Max. It's not hurting eyes so much. I don't know. Maybe it's my settings just, but
it's very cool. Okay, then we could switch to materials. It's an EV settings, and we could set it like to different preset settings like non, low, high, and ultra. And also we could change the bloom, ambient occlusion, and different parameters, main parameters. We could rotate the HDRI to check the model. We could change HDRIs to something different to check shading or model or something like this. Then we could fine-tune the HDRI, and we could hide the world or show it. And now it's like this HDRI is like for previews, but we could switch to scene world, and in this way I do not have I do not set up scene world, so it's the main HDRI will be here. And also we have a render view, so it's here we have the same settings, and we could use CPU or GPU, and we could if we second time push the overlay, it will show the overlay, the wireframe of the model on top of the render, like this. And this is EV. And then we could switch back. this plugin is free, and this is only the first menu. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we have
you know, like 10 minutes ago, I have I want to answer your question. Like, you know, Gleb, the 3ds Max itself is not so well. You must to fill it with different kind of plugins, renders, connectors, and so on, so on, so on. And what about Blender? It looks really cool stuff by itself. And do you think it need plugins and then 10 minutes of this plugin and like, yeah, you need it.
actually like vanilla Blender is very cool. It have all features and everything you need. But for example, if we use these plugins, it's much faster. For example, we need a wireframe mode, and for example, we are working in this screen. We need a wireframe mode, so we just press one button and switch to wireframe mode or render view. Yeah, if we need to turn it manually, we should go like from here, go to here, and have this view, or to here, or to render here, like here. And this is the main reason. And there are a lot of settings like this name. For example, we should find it somewhere here, here, and change this name of the model. It's all takes time. Or we should make this surface smooth. We just push the same button, one button, and make it smooth. And if no, we should find here in menus where it's located this option. And remember, like it's hard sometimes to remember all these buttons. And here we have one menu, and we have all useful stuff here.
So
we could
all in one list.
Yeah, we could turn it like to show only wireframe, or to show it solid, or to turn a material view or object view, or like random view, change matcap. So it's also could be changed from here. But you know, like every time we need to move move the mouse. So it's for me it's better to just it's fast. Yeah, and for example, yeah, it's the first menu. I will show another one I like the most also. It's like another menu. It could be fastly moved to left, right, top, bottom, yeah, to camera. We could set a camera very fast. We could make a camera to view. We could move, like for example, bottom, left. We could set perspective or orthographic view, and we could change the lens. Of course, for perspective, we could change the lens. Yeah, this is another menu I use most. Another one is this one. If you press tab and you're entering the edit mode, and this is the menu. So if I press tab and left, like this, it will activate vertices, right faces, bottom edges. So it's like this. It's very fast and switching very fast. And beside this, in Blender also we could sculpt, for example.
Like in ZBrush, you mean, or what?
Yeah, I will show you now. So from this menu, you could go to, it's very cool. So look, oops. So, draw. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all cool.
Like here, we could annotate, for example, write like this and like write something on the model, or like for a vision, we could stop a camera, for example, and write that it should be fixed this part and set to another view, and we should or draw something, some I don't know, marks for hard surface modeling. So this part should be extruded and give some details here, and it's really cool feature, or annotate. And okay, and from
Mac writing in chat. I've got to get ready for yoga over here, but thanks for interesting Blender lesson, guys. Have a nice evening. Have a nice evening, you too, Mac, and thanks for being on our stream. We will finish soon anyway, so you don't miss much. Have a nice training. Yep. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, so in Blender we could sculpt. I will subdivide the model a few times. Please apply modifiers. And also
Sculpting in Blender, it's vanilla function, right?
Yeah. For example, we could press an F, we making the radius bigger or small. We have different brushes, so I'm sculpting with the mouse, so it's not so responsible. So I mean, like, yeah.
And I have a new tablet. So chat, next stream with my retouch, we will test my new tablet.
We have a close brush. We have a close brush here also, and for example, close filter.
The moving of surface, it's a bit different from ZBrush, as I can see.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but you know, sometimes it's like, for example, if we model in a chair or a sofa, we are making this sofa in polygonal modeling. So we making the loops and so on, and then we subdivide and get some like this result, and we need to fine tune a bit, not like sculpt from scratch, but for example, like move these parts. If we move it like vertices, you see it will be a lot of vertices here, and like a lot of vertices, and it's freeze a bit and so on. But when we switch to sculpt, we could fastly move
this the whole segment of vertices.
Yeah, or like smooth some parts here, and here we have a settings.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just finished.
I want to talk that that's pretty cool that you can do some sculpting stuff inside a program without importing and exporting it between two different programs, and still you got a correct polygonal wireframe.
Yeah. and it's very cool. For example, for some tweaking, there are a lot of people that sculpting in Blender. So here we could set the strange, for example, and so on. But like to make a fast changes is it's very cool. And here we have also this cool stuff with different mat caps, and we could switch it and flip, and like for example.
Anastasia Tumanova SketchUp is my love. Yeah. Can you import here some brushes? I don't know.
Yeah, there are some. I'm not so like deeply checked sculpting, yeah, but there are a lot of hair brushes, and I know there is some add-ons, and the brush could be also added. So it's
sculpting, it's like professional itself, so it's really individual stuff. It's cool that Blender got it, but I can understood how you will never use it in Blender, actually, if you not do sculpting, like,
yeah, of course. Also, we could we have a plan, how it's called, modifiers, remesh, and then we could remesh the model, for example, for like this, and then we apply modifier, and we could sculpt on the more, like the mesh is not so dense, and it's mostly on quads, and it's rather precise to sculpt. And here we have like all these brushes like inflate, bloom, and some different like pinch, play stripes. Like this, like a standard ZBrush. Or adding some details. In Blender, we could also bake. And this is about this menu. For example, if we need also here, so we could paint weight paint mode, and here is a texture paint mode and sculpting mode. And here we have these parameters like edges, vertex, and polygons. Also, we could turn occluded, so we could select through the model. For example, we need to select this vertex, then we path through, and then we turn it off. So it's selected. And also we could turn after merge function. So if we press G and it's merged. So in this mode also it's like very cool mode. For example, we need to merge these points together. We just press Shift 1 and it's merged. It's very fast. If we press select one vertex and then another with Shift, you see this is active. It's like greenish. And then we'll press 1. It's merged to this vertex. So I select one vertex, then select second and press 1. I could select like this 3 vertices, or like these vertices and this one, and press 1, and it will all merge to this one. For example, I could select
this. I'm sorry. Then you select vertices. I noticed it a couple of times during our stream. Then you select vertices. You have like this shining effect around vertex. It's
Yeah.
it's not shine. It's just painted, but it's gradient, so looks like shine. And the vertex with this much noticeable, and the whole model stuff a lot more cooler look. Uh, do you have some kind of settings of this selecting, or it's
Yeah.
default, or you can edit somehow?
Here you could change everything. Like in
Okay.
3D viewport, you have the here somewhere active vertex, for example, vertex select. Yeah, and this
But
color will uh, represent, I think. Yeah,
yeah,
so it's
let's not go deep. That's enough. I just was interested for myself because that's really cool.
yeah. So everything could be changed here. So like see, so we could turn like every
Yeah, that was you talking in a start of a stream, and I can't read the numbers, so I do not understand what was this stripes. Yeah, cool. Now I got it. Thanks.
yeah. So it's very fast here. For example, in 3ds Max, how it works, we should select this vertex, then right click, then here find weld, then pick. So we just right click, select weld, and then select this and this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 seconds. Here I just select, it's like 0.2 seconds. Like if we need to connect the vertices and make new vertices. So in this add-on, like one is merging vertices, two is cut tool, and if we are in H mode, we could with one with two add vertex in the middle, and like, also in Blender we could make like this, and then like this dissolve everything here on sharp edges, well, on flat surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very cool for cleaning, for
Wireframe.
cleaning, yeah, for cleaning the model. Um, and implement, then like this. And here we have like also cleaning function. So you see like these vertices that are not connected to anything. So we just hit 3 and we have a cleanup, and we could I will show you. For example, here we have E like this. So actually, we do not need here. We do not need here edges because it's flat, and we could select like hit 3, and then faces here and edges, and it will remove on flat surfaces any geometry. So, and now we have a very clean geometry, for example, for AR model or game model. And then we could make sharp edges, make sharp edges, and make bevel, and like this, add bevel resolution. For example, here we have a boolean option also. It's like this, and it's very fast.
Yeah,
So
it's cool to have all these tools and all these functions that will help you to deal with your uh, time after time problems that you have will have with your assets. So the more this kind of tool you got, the faster and better will you work, more productive. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, in fact, guys, we're running out of time. This stream This was a bit longer than I thought, but I see a nice online today, and that's mean that that was interesting. Uh, at least for me, the stream, the whole stuff that you shown for us was awesome, and I personally want to see more. And we will collect some feedback from our community. And what do you think? Can we do another stream about Blender?
Yeah, sure, sure. There are a lot of stuff. Blender's like very
Like
cool.
huge and cool. Definitely cool. I love this design of menu, this ergonomic, and all of this cool feature and plugin. Plugin has impressed me really well. Especially then you switch to mode, then every part of car was with different pastel color, and it's so useful. Then you can see every detail and not hurting your eyes with some acid colors, acid tints. I mean, that was like cool, and many other features was cool.
See, like I'm making a bullet now, and it
Yeah.
doesn't crash at all. It's like very fast, insane. Try
Can
to
you
make
show closer the wireframe that is left after boolean?
1 second. I'll make this.
Oh, 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 yeah.
Here it's not it's a matter because this edge is connected. So if we make it's not a Blender problem. For example, if we make like this, oops, it should disappear. Oh, sorry. So it's because of the connections. So
Okay, let's left this till our time, and for now we must end our stream. Gleb, thank you. The stream was awesome. Your lesson was really interested, especially for me. I hope chat enjoyed this as much as I do, and we will back on next week with Andrii, I believe. That will be an interview, and after that, maybe we'll do with Gleb on our Blender stream, and we will be prepared a bit better with our stream settings and everything else. It's sorry guys for a delay and for some technical issue that was today. That's because we discovered that Gleb must streaming because I can't share his screen from my side, and we need to give him all the stuff so he start stream. So basically before stream we start to editing all settings, and we do this as fast as and as best as we could in this short timing. And Gleb, you're absolutely the best. Thank you a lot. The stream was awesome.
It was really nice.
Yeah, chat, thank you all for all your time, and see you next week. And Gleb, here I press usually the button to end the stream, but now you are the host, so you must press the button too. See you guys.